Rajya Sabha is going to take up a discussion on the JNU Rao and Rohit Vemula's suicide. We'll get you all the details in this bulletin. Let us start with the headlines. Union Minister Suresh Prabhu to present railway budget today. Minister faced with uphill task of providing passenger services amid dwindling funds. Rajya Sabha to take up discussion on the JNU Rao and Rohit Vemula's suicide. HRD Minister's fiery counter in lower house to allegations by opposition of pushing saffron agenda. Newly installed Arunachal Chief Minister to face a floor test today. Shot in the arm for Kalikopul as 8 loyalists of former Chief Minister back him. Two days ahead of planned ceasefire, first airdrop of UN aid in Syria. Reports say Russian president making push to make a ceasefire a reality. And India beat Bangladesh by 45 runs in the inaugural match of the Asia Cup T20 series. Rohit Sharma's 83-run knock proves a win the India the day. Well, Railway Minister Suresh Prabhu will be presenting the railway budget for the year 2016-17 today. Ahead of the budget presentation, the minister said that it will cater to the needs of all satisfactorily.
This budget, as you asked me correctly, what would the direction? Because we are laid down a 5-year plan, obviously the same, but continuing to be driving only on one single issue: how to make railways better, how to improve the customer experience for the passengers, how to bring in more revenues to the railways by bringing the freight operators, the cargo handlers, the people who are actually the bread, butter and jam of railways. And therefore we cannot afford to ignore them either, because they are the ones who provide us 2/3 of the revenue, and to our own peril we have ignored them in the past.
With assembly elections due in West Bengal, Assam, Kerala and Puducherry, there is pressure of expanding railway infrastructure in these places. While expectations are high, the railways is in the need of funds to provide better safety, upkeep and modernization. While the budget is being prepared after consultations with experts, MPs, chief ministers and ordinary people, the possibility of a fare hike is not being ruled out this time.
आम लोग हैं, उनको कम मिलना चाहिए, थोड़ा रिलीफ मिलना चाहिए इन सब एक्सपेंसेस से. हम अब डेली अप डाउनर्स हैं और जो लेडीज प्रोटेक्शन रहती है वो भी मिलनी चाहिए.
गाड़ियों में थोड़ा सफाई की तरफ भी अब ध्यान दें. कुछ खाने पीने का जो हिसाब किताब है उसमें भी हम चाहते हैं थोड़ी सी और मतलब इम्प्रूवमेंट आए, ताकि और लोग ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा जो है ट्रेन का सफ़र का लाभ उठा सकें.
Ahead of the budget, the Railways Minister has said that the railway resources are constantly dwindling as freight and passenger fares are not being decided in an optimum manner.
ये इंडियन रेलवे को ट्रांसफॉर्म करने वाला बजट होगा और देश के आम आदमी और आम यात्री को केंद्र बिंदु में रख करके बनाया गया बजट होगा.
The ever-expanding expense list is a big challenge for the railway budget this time. There is some relief with the slashing of diesel prices, but the 7th Pay Commission will add an additional burden of 32,000 crore rupees on the railways. Losses on passenger services is expected to be to the tune of 30,000 crore rupees. Add to this the Finance Ministry's refusal for any relief, and the railway's present condition is a cause of concern. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
For more on this, let's go across to my colleague Anu Diwan, who joins us live from New Delhi railway station. Anu, good morning. Now, Suresh Prabhu is going to present his second rail budget today. What are the expectations of? Obviously, one is that he will not hike passenger fares. What else is everyone hoping for?
Yeah, exactly, Aishwarya. Exactly, passengers are seriously waiting that this time also Suresh Prabhu likely there may be a possibility that he may not announce hike in the fare prices. There are few passengers with me. I would like to ask them, sir, इस बार जो है ये सेकंड रेल बजट सुरेश प्रभु अपना जो है वो पेश करेंगे. इस बार आप पैसेंजर्स क्या कुछ एक्सपेक्ट कर रहे हैं उनसे, फेयर प्राइसेस को लेकर, क्लीनिनेस को लेकर, न्यू ट्रेन्स को लेकर?
प्राइस कम होनी चाहिए, क्लीनिंग होनी चाहिए और सुरक्षा की दृष्टि से और ज़्यादा इनमें बढ़ावा होना चाहिए.
मैम आप क्या सोचती हैं कि क्या कुछ चेंजेस आप देखना चाहती हैं इस बार रेलवे स्टेशंस वगैरह में, ट्रेन्स में, क्या कुछ चेंजेस या कुछ नई टेक्नोलॉजी आप देखना चाहती हैं?
सफाई अच्छी होनी चाहिए।
अगर सुरक्षा के लिहाज से बात करें तो आप लोगों को क्या लगता है कि सुरक्षा के लिहाज से क्या कुछ करने की ज़रूरत है रेलवे स्टेशन?
हर प्लेटफॉर्म में सिक्योरिटी होनी चाहिए और एक न्यू मतलब ये मॉडर्नाइजेशन करवाना चाहिए रेलवे को। हर वहाँ इलेक्ट्रॉनिक स्टेयर्स होनी चाहिए।
Aishwarya, like these passengers are asking for, there should not be no hike in the fare prices. There should be more security, more modernizations at the railway stations, and more better services need to be provided. So passengers are seriously expecting that this time also Suresh Prabhu don't announce any hike in the fare prices. They are moving towards passengers seriously want that the railway should come out with changes relating to the cleanliness and eco-friendly at the railway stations.
I know, right. Various issues there raised by passengers. Also, I know there have been certain changes really in online ticketing technology of late and other electronic facilities. So what changes are the commuters looking for through this budget?
Aishwarya, talking to the passengers just few minutes back also, passengers were expecting that there are online system, but online is not relating to everyone. So passengers seriously want at the railway stations that there must be much better facilities, like the waiting rooms should be more modernized. There should be more facilities at the railway stations. Like passengers are seriously in a hurry and they want that there should be more facilities relating to the handicapped people at the railway station. So these are the minor facilities which passengers are expecting this time in the rail budget.
All right, Anu, thank you so much for those details. Railway Minister Suresh Prabhu's second railway budget, which is set to be presented at 12 noon today. It will be closely tracked by millions of people who travel through railways. And on the first day of the budget session on Wednesday, the upper house of Parliament witnessed a lot of slogan shouting and heated exchanges between members of the Treasury and opposition benches on the issue of Dalit scholar Rohit Vemula's suicide case. Now, after repeated adjournments, it was decided that a discussion on the JNU issue and the Hyderabad University controversy would be taken up today.
The first working day of the budget session in Rajya Sabha started on a stormy note, leading to repeated adjournments over the suicide of Dalit scholar Rohit Vemula. BSP leader Mayawati raised the issue during 0 hour, seeking the government's response on the inclusion of a Dalit member into the inquiry committee.
हमारी मायावती जी, please stop.
सरकार के दोनों मंत्रियों को मंत्री पद से
I will have to say it, you will not go on record.
इस्तीफा नहीं
Please
दिया
stop.
जाएगा। इसके साथ ही यूनिवर्सिटी
No,
के
please.
VC को बर्खास्त
There is
नहीं किया जाएगा।
in the list of
इस
business,
मामले से
there
जुड़े
is a discussion on the
अन्य
same
सभी
subject.
लोगों को भी वहाँ से
Therefore,
नहीं
you stop.
हटाया
You will
जाएगा।
get
तो
time
इसके अलावा
later.
इस जांच कमेटी
Please.
में एक दलित आदमी को भी नहीं रखा
आप
जाएगा।
सुनिए,
तब तक
इसी
ये
में
जांच
discussion आज ही है।
सही व निष्पक्ष संभव नहीं हो सकती है।
BSP MPs soon trooped into the well of the house, shouting slogans against the government. The left parties and Congress supported Mayawati's demand, but with the government saying it will reply at the end of the short duration discussion slated for later in the day, proceedings were adjourned twice during 0 hour.
House is adjourned up to 12:00 hours.
During question hour, Chairman Mohammad Hamid Ansari appealed to those protesting to let the House function smoothly.
Interruption of question hour is a violation of the privilege of individual members. Trample on the privilege of your own colleagues. That is all. You have the whole day to raise these questions.
After 5 adjournments in the first half of the day, the stormy scenes continued in the post-lunch session as well. With BSP members shouting slogans in the well, Mayawati sought a separate discussion on Rohit Vemula's suicide.
We fully support the sentiments she has raised, and we are fully in with them on the question of a Dalit issue as far as Hyderabad Central University is concerned.
मायावती जी ने जो मुद्दा उठाया है उसमें हम सहमत हैं कि हैदराबाद यूनिवर्सिटी में जिस तरह से रोहित को आत्महत्या करनी पड़ी वो एक नेशनल इशू है, उसको हम किसी तरह से डाइल्यूट नहीं होने देंगे और न करना चाहते हैं।
The government, however, made it clear that it would reply to all questions raised during the discussion.
I am willing to answer every question which is posed to me, either They decide which question they want to ask it. Allow me to finish,
No,
Mr.
please,
Yachuri.
let her complete.
My question to the senior members of this house is this. Be it Mr. Yachuri or Behenji, my question is this. Are we signaling to the nation, sir, that a judge is in a capacity? Allow me to finish, sir. Are we saying to this country that a judge's capacity to deliver justice will depend on his caste now, sir?
With BSP members not relenting, proceedings were adjourned once again. Later, it was decided to take up the issue for discussion on Thursday through short duration discussion and calling attention motion. With no work done on the first day of the budget session, Deputy Chairman once again urged the members to let the House function smoothly before adjourning the House till Thursday.
Not saying anything about the other house, but the other house is functioning very well. We are seniors. We could not function today in spite of all effort. Tomorrow, I thank you for this good understanding arrived at. I hope, I believe and I pray that tomorrow the house will function smoothly. House is adjourned till 11 a.m. on Thursday, the 25th February.
Vishal Daya's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
And the Lok Sabha took up a short duration discussion on the functioning of universities in the country, which included discussions on the twin issues at JNU and Hyderabad University. Now, BJP MP Anurag Thakur led a fierce government response, followed by HRD Minister Smriti Irani, against opposition's allegations of muzzling dissent and being anti-Dalit.
The government and opposition exchanged heated arguments as the suicide of Rohit Vemula, a student at Hyderabad University, and the arrest of JNU students on sedition charges rocked the lower house on Wednesday. This followed after leader of Congress Mallikarjun Kharge and two others gave notice of adjournment motion on the issue.
अब मुझे ये पूछना है, क्या इंस्पेक्टर ML शर्मा जिन्होंने शहादत दी उनके घर आप गई या नहीं गई, लेकिन दूसरे के नाम पर आंसू जरूर निकाले। ये दिखाता है मैडम, और इसीलिए मैडम, इसीलिए मुझे याद आता है कि जब वो इंस्पेक्टर ML शर्मा की बात आती है तो राहुल जी भी उनके यहाँ नहीं जा पाए, लेकिन उनके घर पर गए जिनका आतंकवादी होने का, जिनके ऊपर आरोप ही नहीं लगे बल्कि उनको मार गिराया गया। इसलिए तय आपको करना है, आप अफजल गुरु के साथ हैं या संसद के साथ है, भारत के लोकतंत्र के साथ है। अफजल गुरु आपके लिए आतंकवादी है या आपके लिए शहीद है, ये तय आपको करना है।
Union Minister Smriti Irani gave an emotional speech and hard-hitting reply to the opposition for targeting her on the suicide of research scholar Rohit Vemula.
Handwritten suicide note was written which did not blame anybody and specifically stated that nobody is responsible for this act.
The Congress and other opposition parties accused the government of creating an atmosphere of divide and hatred in its attempt to keep divisive issues. Congress leader Jyotiraditya Scindia launched an aggressive criticism at the government, squarely blaming the NDA for the suicide of Dalit scholar Rohit Vemula in Hyderabad. He called the sedition controversy on JNU a blot on the nation.
ये सोच ये सरकार प्रचारित करनी चाहती है कि एक ही सोच चलेगा, एक ही धर्म चलेगा, एक ही संस्कृति चलेगा इस देश में। हम जितनी आलोचना करें वो कम है, लेकिन केवल नारे देना अपराधीकरण की श्रेणी में नहीं आता और राजद्रोह की श्रेणी में नहीं आता।
Facing flack over slapping sedition charges on JNU SU President Kanhaiya Kumar and others, Home Minister Rajnath Singh said the issue should now be left to the courts to decide. NDA ally the TDP voiced concern over the issue, saying sedition charge was a harsh action. Later, Home Minister assured the House on the safety of the students who were in custody.
जो कुछ भी जवाहरलाल नेहरू यूनिवर्सिटी में हुआ है और जो भी कार्रवाई पुलिस के द्वारा की जा रही है उसमें सरकार की तरफ से कोई हस्तक्षेप नहीं है। इतना मैं जरूर आश्वस्त करना चाहता हूं कि किसी भी निर्दोष छात्र को पुलिस को परेशान करने की इजाजत किसी भी सूरत में नहीं दी जाएगी, किसी का हैरेसमेंट नहीं होने देंगे।
Members of the Congress, left parties and Trinamool Congress staged a walkout in the wake of HRD Ministry's strident attack on them, in which she rejected the charge of saffronization of education. Later, Irani had a face-off with BSP chief Mayawati in Rajya Sabha, with the minister taunting her whether MPs should decide ability of judges to deliver justice based on their caste. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Meanwhile, JNU students Umar Khalid and Anirban Bhattacharya, who are charged with sedition for allegedly raising anti-national slogans in the campus, have been sent to 3 days of police custody. Police has also applied for the production of JNU Students' Union President Kanhaiya Kumar so that all the 3 students can be interrogated together. Now, Delhi Police says that it wants to unearth the larger conspiracy behind the seditious act. A day after 2 JNU students accused of sedition surrendered before the Delhi police, a Delhi court sent Umar Khalid and Anirban Bhattacharya to 3-day police custody. The 2 and 3 other students, Rama Naga, Ashutosh Kumar and Anand Prakash, had allegedly raised anti-national slogans in the JNU campus at a cultural event organized on the death anniversary of Parliament attack convict Afzal Guru. The court has asked the police to conduct remand proceedings secretly so that arrested students are not harmed.
3 दिन की पीसी रिमांड मिली। दिल्ली पुलिस सक्षम है, पूरी तरह से सिक्योरिटी प्रोवाइड करी जाएगी और जो इन्वेस्टिगेशन में जरूरी है वो सब किया जाएगा।
Meanwhile, the Delhi police has submitted to the High Court a 13-page status report into the investigation so far in the case. The report alleges that there might be a larger conspiracy behind the pro-Afzal Guru event at the JNU. In the report, Delhi police also says that JNU-SU President Kanhaiya Kumar had not only participated in that event but had actually organized it. Cops have also applied for Kanhaiya's further police remand, which they say is necessary for confronting him with the other 2 accused.
We submitted to the court that we would be seeking a remand of the accused Kanhaiya in view of the new development of arrest of 2 co-accused persons. So the court adjourned the matter and fixed it for 29th of February at 2 p.m.
The politics over the JNU row continues, while the opposition is training guns at the government over what it alleges is muzzling of freedom of expression of students. Ruling BJP has asked the Congress to clarify its stand on the issue.
मैं ऐसे पूछना चाहता हूं कांग्रेस के उपाध्यक्ष राहुल गांधी जी को, आप देश की जनता के सामने इस नारों को स्पष्ट करिए, आप इसका समर्थन करते हैं या नहीं करते हैं, और नहीं करते हैं तो हिम्मत कर इसकी निंदा करिए। वोट बैंक की राजनीति के लिए इतने नीचे मत उतरिए।
The issue also reverberated in Parliament, with Home Minister Rajnath Singh assuring the Lok Sabha that no innocent student will be harassed, and said that the issue of sedition charge slapped against JNU students should be left for the courts to decide. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV. On to some other news now. With an aim to discourage cash transactions, the Cabinet has approved a withdrawal of surcharge, service charge and convenience fee on card and digital payments. The Cabinet, chaired by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, also approved mandating payments beyond a prescribed threshold only through a card or digital mode. The move primarily discourages transaction in cash by providing access to financial payment services to citizens to pay through cards and digital means, and shifting payment ecosystem from cash-dominated to non-cash or less cash payments. News from Arunachal Pradesh now. Well, the newly installed government there will face a test of its strength in the assembly. Now, Chief Minister Kali Khopul received a shot in the arm as the 8 Nabam Tuki loyalists extended their support to him. Governor Jyoti Prasad Rajkohar summoned the 7th session of the assembly from today till 27th of February. Remember, Pul was sworn in as the 8th Chief Minister of the state on 19th of February after 3 months of political uncertainty. Well, with the joining of the 8 MLAs, the strength of the Pul camp rose to 41, including 28 Congress members, 11 BJP MLAs and 2 independents in a house with an effective strength of 58, though the original strength was 60. The Union Cabinet had on 24th of January last recommended for imposition of President's rule in the state, and it was imposed on 26th of January. It was lifted less than a month later on 19th of February. Very short break in here. Coming up ahead is all the international news and sports news. Stay tuned.
Hello, I am Ishan Russell.
I'm Tracy Shilchi and you're watching News Tonight.
Together with the team of our
dedicated professionals from across various fields.
This is Shyam Sundar,
Vishal Dahiya,
Akhilesh Suman,
Frank Pereira from Beijing, China.
Kriti Mishra for Rajya Sabha Television.
to you
The news that matters here on Rajya Sabha TV.
Welcome back. A big international story. Well, just 2 days ahead of the planned ceasefire, the United Nations carried out its first airdrop of aid in Syria. Meanwhile, details on how to monitor the cessation of hostilities still remains unclear. Reports suggest that Russian President Vladimir Putin is making diplomatic push to make ceasefire in Syria a reality.
The UN planes airdropped 21 tons of humanitarian aid deliveries in Syria's government-held area Deir al-Zur. Officials confirmed the aid has successfully reached the target area. Nearly 2 lakh civilians are living under siege in Deir al-Zur. Meanwhile, Syrian ambassador to the UN, Bashar Jafri, blamed non-state fighters for preventing the flow of humanitarian aid.
The second and last part of the deliveries is tentatively planned for 28th February. The United Nations have supplies ready to be loaded and delivered. Facilitation by all parties, including the relevant letters from the government of Syria, must be provided.
حيث يمنع الإرهابيون دخول المساعدات الإنسانية أو يستولون عليها لاستخدامها أو إعادة بيعها للمدنيين. ولذلك فإننا لم نرى صورا لما يسمى بالإرهابيين المعتدلين وهم يتضورون جوعا.
US-Russia brokered cessation of hostilities will come to effect from Saturday. However, there is still no clarity on how it will be implemented and monitored. US President Barack Obama remains cautious about a diplomatic plan. Russian President meanwhile spoke to leaders of Syria, Saudi Arabia, Israel, Iran and Qatar, expressing its commitment to planned ceasefire. On the ground, Russian warplanes have significantly slowed down. Turkey and Saudi-backed Syrian opposition remain skeptical about Russia's commitment.
The situation on the ground is difficult, but we have seen modest progress over the course of the last week or so with respect to humanitarian access to populations that are threatened.
В течение последних 2 суток интенсивность ударов российских самолетов заметно снизилась. Прежде всего, это коснулось тех районов Сирийской Арабской Республики, где уже поступили и продолжают поступать обращения от местных властей и представителей.
We're sure that Russia will do something, but the problem here, in this agreement, if they target al-Nusra, we're not defending al-Nusra, we're against al-Qaeda, we're against ISIS, Daesh, but maybe they will use that as an excuse to target moderate fighters, to target the Syrian Free Army. And there has to be some assurance, from the states, especially from the United States.
Syrian President Bashar al-Assad's endgame is still unclear. Early on Wednesday, the Syrian regime began accepting applications from candidates for parliamentary elections, which is planned on April 13th, a contradiction to the UN roadmap to find a solution to the 5-year-old civil war. In December 2015, the UN Security Council had called for the establishment of transitional government within 6 months after the start of peace talks. According to the UN, the transitional government would be the one drafting a new constitution and calling for elections within a year, and not the Assad regime. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And on to cricket now. In Bangladesh, slumped to a cruising 45-run defeat against India in the inaugural match of the 2016 Asia Cup. Rohit Sharma guided the team to 166 for 6 after they were sent into bat at the Sher-e-Bangla National Cricket Stadium in Mirpur. The hosts lost wickets regularly in their chase before limping to 121 for 7 in 20 overs. Sabir Rahman top scored for them with 44 runs. The Indian bowlers made the most of the green track, extracting bounce and movement on a breezy night in Mirpur. Now, midway into the Bangladesh's innings, the fans turned on their mobile phone flashlights to further illuminate the stadium as the rain clouds moved in.
Hardik obviously has played his role. I think Rohit Sharma was the key. I mean, he was like, last over he get out. He has been set in the wicket. He batted till 19.2 overs, so it was the key point for them. I mean, the set batsman, if in the wicket, so he can turn the game for his team in any situation.
The big football story. Well, outgoing FIFA president Sepp Blatter and suspended UEFA boss Michael Platini managed to get their suspensions reduced from 8 years to 6 years by FIFA's Appeals Committee. Now, their bans from all football-related activities have been upheld. Both were found guilty of breaches surrounding a $2 million disloyal payment to Platini. They both deny any wrongdoing and say that they are going to appeal to the Court of Arbitration for Sport. Now, Blatter and Platini said that the payment honoured a verbal agreement made in 1998 for work carried out by the Frenchman when he was a technical advisor for Blatter. Now, while Blatter said that he was very disappointed, Platini said that it was a political decision and was insulting and shameful. Now, FIFA's presidential election is due to take place on Friday to find Blatter's replacement.
All good? All positive? I hope so. Hi, Rashid, how are you?
Very good to see you. Confident about the election?
Another 48 hours.
Yeah.
I hope all will be good.
How many votes do you think you have?
Well, wait until Friday.
That's all in this edition of news. Keep watching Rajya Sabha TV. We have Parliament news coming up.
Tales that inspire. Stories of social change.